Hi, I'm Bob Le�ZɅR. If you're curious to know what it was like for me working at Area S4, follow Project Gravitur.
Wipe it down, 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 wipe.
Hi, I'm Luigi Vendittelli.
And I'm Bob Le�ZɅR.
And this is Project Gravitur. We're about to take everybody back to 1988 with this time machine. And everyone's going to be able to experience S4 as real as Bob saw it back then.
And how does it feel to be back here, like on the dry lake?
Yeah, it feels like I've come home.
I can see that. I mean, this is such a cool environment.
It's otherworldly, really.
Yeah, it really is. And it's also relaxing. I feel that there's a sense of peace out here that you don't usually feel.
Well, especially coming from a busy place like Las Vegas.
Right.
Yeah, it's population mulling around and tourists, and you come out here and you're absolutely alone.
That's what's so cool about it. I mean, there's an energy in the desert that unless you come out in the desert, you don't understand, especially a place like this.
Yeah.
Let's travel back in time to December of 1988 when this all started.
Hi, my name is Luigi Vendittelli, and I'm the director of Project Gravitur. We're right here in front of the Area 51 back gate in the Nevada desert. Project Gravitur is all about the story of Bob Le�ZʅR back in 1988 and 1989 when he was reverse engineering alien spacecraft at a secret base within the Area 51 compound called S4. We've recreated the entire Groom Lake facility all the way to the Papoose Mountain Range, Papoose Lake, and the S4 facility. You guys are gonna love the documentary film that we created called Le�ZʅR, the original whistleblower, and we're gonna follow that up with a virtual reality experience called S4, the experience. We really hope you guys are gonna love it. We can't wait to show it to everybody.
I've got Mario in the back and the greatest chauffeur ever.
And at nighttime, obviously, there's no light in the middle of the desert.
Working on a shoot with Bob Le�ZʅR.
Bob, his wife, the whole cast, they weren't just sitting there. Everybody kind of pitched in and we all helped each other out. A lot of people wanted to meet Bob. And one of those people was George St. Pierre. Said, you know, if I would have been asked to meet anybody in the world, he says, Bob Le�ZʅR would have been the first on my list. It's also important to know that Bob was not invited to testify at the congressional hearing, but to be there in attendance. But the fact that he was already scheduled to come to Montreal and film with us made him take the plane to Montreal and not to Washington, D.C. That was really interesting when he told us that.
This is us not having a life right now.
We're almost there.
We're almost there. We're getting there.
Project Gravitur is going to take you guys inside of S4, one of the most secret locations on planet Earth. So it is literally as close to reality as you can get. How we went about getting that, that's another story. Bob will talk to you if you want to have a conversation. I thought that's great. And so we ended up on a call. And on that first call, I remember Bob was interviewing me. What have you done and how would you do this? And why do you want to do this? For one thing, this is my first rodeo in making a documentary film. I'm not afraid of the challenges. Obviously, I took this on, but I have to say the success of this project is 100% also because of the team are absolutely important to how this went about. This information about the United States government and their potential defense contractors working on extraterrestrial technology and keeping it secret from the rest of the world is big. That's a big deal. The blue bus is a really important part of the story as well. When Bob would be flown out from McCarran Airport to Groom Lake with a Janet jet, which is a Boeing 737, they would come off the flight and he would walk down and some people would go to the right and he would be led to the left side with his superior Dennis, where he would board a blue school bus that had all blacked out windows on it. There was usually nobody else on the bus, or maybe one or two extra people sitting in the back. Bob would always sit in the front seat. He says he would always swing around and hold on to the pole and be sitting right to the front. And Dennis would sit right across him, staring at him like awkwardly throughout the whole ride. And they would essentially drive in the desert until they would actually get to the Papoose dry lake where S4 was located. The Identimat 2000 hand scanner is also a very important part of the story. This was a specific machine that was at the entrance of S4 where Bob would have to place his hand onto this machine. It had a metal pin and this light would light up and it would basically measure the length of the bones in his hand. This was a specific thing that was not very advertised back then. It had actually been featured in the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind in the late 1970s, but nobody really knew what it did. It didn't say that it was doing exactly that. Bob was asked to put his hand there. Once it would read his hand, the card would be active for him to use where he had access within the facility at S4. The blue documents are also extremely important. They were found in the briefing room. Bob was brought into the briefing room a few times where he was asked to sit there privately and read. This is this big stack of blue folders on this desk, and he was asked to go through them. A lot of them had top secret markings on them. Some of them had US Navy markings on them. Some of them didn't have markings at all. They covered the programs and projects that were at S4, being Project Galileo, Project Looking Glass, Project Sidekick. They discussed the technology and the components that he worked on. They discussed the origins of these crafts being from the Zeta Reticuli binary star system. He also saw a picture of an autopsy of a creature with large black eyes. They also talked about some of the things that were related to our past, that these creatures consider us as containers. A lot of controversial stuff. We will cover a great deal of it in the film. Bob's glasses are an iconic part of the whole story. Anybody who's followed this since it came out in 1989 remembers Bob L��R wearing those iconic glasses that he wore all the time. Now that changed over time. Bob wore them in the 90s, but then in the 2000s, they kind of disappeared. And whenever we would see Bob, he sometimes had glasses, but they were not the same anymore. And in fact, for our project in our film, Bob doesn't wear glasses at all. He doesn't wear glasses anymore. He's got contact lenses, but we recreated them. We actually went out and bought the same pair so we could put them on one of our actors to recreate the young Bob and de-aging Bob. And we've also put them in the scene to really create the atmosphere that brings everybody back to 1988. The Honda jet car is one of the most underrated, iconic pieces of the story. Bob built a jet car in the early 80s, and when he was living in Los Alamos and working at the Los Alamos National Labs, he was actually driving this Honda Civic jet car to work every day. On a specific day, he was featured on the front page of the newspaper, the Los Alamos Monitor, because of this incredible jet car. Incidentally, that same day, Ed Teller, the father of the hydrogen bomb, was giving a lecture at Los Alamos. Bob wanted to go see the lecture and happened to bump into Ed Teller reading the paper. That sparked a conversation between them that eventually got Bob to get a recommendation to go for an interview at EG&G Special Projects, which eventually led him to S4. Bob LeЗâR was hired by the United States Department of Naval Intelligence. He was put on a blue bus with blacked out windows and was driven 15 miles southwest of the Groom Lake facility, which is known publicly as Area 51. The other dry lake was called Papoose Lake. Right adjacent to it is the Papoose mountain range. When he got out of the bus, one of the first things he saw was this camouflaged structure or facility. He noticed they looked like slanted hangar doors, large bay doors that went for quite a while. They were camouflaged to match with the terrain of the mountain. He didn't know exactly what he was getting himself into, but he realized that this was a secret facility. He initially was brought into the first hangar, which they called the main hangar. This is where he first saw the sport model flying saucer that he was working on. At first he thought this was not extraterrestrial or non-human. He thought this was just a simple high-tech fighter that was created by the United States military. And one of the reasons why he thought that is because there was a reversed American flag sticker on the craft. The only crafts that we actually replicated from his memory are the sport model in absolute detail, except for the upper level that he never had access to, the jello mold, and the top hat. We basically researched every possible detail in terms of the equipment that was in there, the tools that were in there, and anything that could have been existing at the time in the late 1980s. There's something that the whole world missed out on throughout the ages of this story being out, is the fact that we've always focused on what Bob did at S4 or at Area 51, working on flying saucers, but there was a lot left out about who Bob LeZâR actually is as a human being. Bob had explained exactly what this thing looked like, how it didn't have too much reflectivity, but it still had a little bit. There were a little bit of usage on it, but it looked pretty new, but it was like a turning point for the whole project.
We really wanted to push the envelope in the documentary space and make this like something very unique. I mean, what better way than to completely recreate something that you're not able to go to or see? The challenge was every time we upgraded, we basically had to reinvent the wheel internally at the office. And what that meant was adapting to new technologies and being pushed to bring up the quality and visuals of the project incrementally over those months and years. We keep getting roadblocks and we keep slamming through and breaking those roadblocks. I don't think there's a better reward as an artist having that result of him saying it's exactly like I remember it is an incredible feeling.
80s were incredible. I mean, there's so many iconic things that happened Back then, so many movies that came out. This is an era of neon lights and iconic music, and people like Michael Jackson and AC/DC were coming out into the world. This changed society in a way. I mean, there's a lot of iconic things that came out of the 80s. I mean, E.T., there was Star Wars, Predator. This is all alien stuff. Then you got movies like The Terminator, Back to the Future. So obviously my love for the 80s with the cool stuff that came from that era, with the fact that this story happened then, all coalesced all together to create the perfect storm. We got the DeLorean here, which is a really cool model. If you hit the button, it lights up like the original DeLorean. This is like a shrine to Back to the Future. Now, nothing is more in line with what we've been doing with the documentary film than this, because we decided to use a DeLorean time machine just for fun to give this cool lightheartedness to the film, where we're bringing people back to 1988 when this whole story started with Bob Lazar. So the only reason why we put the DeLorean there was just the reference to the 1980s and how it could be a cool way of bringing people back in time to 1988. This is a E.T. spaceship that was a collector edition that came out, I think it was like on the 30th anniversary, I believe. Anyway, and you basically see how E.T.'s coming out of the spaceship with the music from the movie. Got this little storybook that came out not too long ago for kids. That's the original storybook from E.T. from 1982. The record with Michael Jackson, because back then Michael Jackson did a record with E.T., believe it or not. This is kind of like a really iconic movie that I think really made its mark back in the 1980s regarding the potential existence of extraterrestrials. So E.T. the extraterrestrial was really a big thing.
Oh my God. Wow, guys, this is so wild. Okay, first of all, this is, I'm freaking out right now. This is so cool. Oh my God, Bob's gonna freak out.
Back to S4.
Okay, this is a message for Bob and the whole world. We come here, these dudes from L̅ZɅR just got me this. They bring me to Marty McFly's house, and at the same time, a DeLorean time machine shows up. I'm not even kidding, this was not even planned. This is written in the stars, man. There's no way. This is so cool. Oh yeah, this is going up in the studio. Oh dude, it's so awesome. I love it. Thank you very much, dude. This is the best.
The amazing people at L̅ZɅR Co. gave me a gift today in this amazing box, Area S4 top secret property of Luigi Vendittelli, which I love. Look at this, their amazing logo. Quality is impeccable. Look at this. And here is what it contains. So I'm opening the box and check this out. The guys made my own collector card. Here I am with this S4 cap with the sport model and the heart-shaped gravitational field in the Nevada desert. And on the back, check it out, my name in the Back to the Future font with their official L̅ZɅR Co. logo and hologram. And it basically says, everything points to a more powerful group working behind the scenes to ensure we are kept entertained and busy with mild data, elusive images, a barrage of new acronyms, and a few new appointed messiahs of truth from DoD, and a whole lot of smoke and mirrors. I couldn't agree more. This is one of one. I absolutely love it. You guys are amazing at L̅ZɅR Co. I can't wait to work with these guys.
When the door was open and I went into the main hangar, I could see there were other hangars as I walked by, and they went pretty far down. I could clearly see two craft in there, and then there were edges or parts of others. So I knew they were past there, but I couldn't see much further in there. So I could clearly see two, or at least portions of the two, what I called the Jello mold at one time. and the top hat. And it wasn't much longer after that, I believe I asked Rene, how many of these things do you guys have? And he said, there's 9. So that's how I knew there were 9 craft in there.
There were tests that I put Bob through. That I would meet with people who worked at Groom Lake, whose credentials I knew were legit, who would tell me things that I used as a test for Bob, like, where would you eat meals, that kind of stuff. What the cafeteria look like? How did you pay for stuff? And he passed. The kinds of things that they shared with me that I passed on to him. It became clear that he knew his way around there, how he got there. Now it's well known how people get to Groom Lake. The Janet planes are now infamous, and the buses with the blacked out windows. But back then, when Bob first shared it with me and we made it public, the general public had no idea how that worked. What Bob told the world in 1989 was far out there in 1989. Now, not so much. Now it's pretty close to mainstream. Now Congress is on the trail of it, and mainstream journalism is on the trail of it. The story that we had more than 3 decades ago is suddenly front and center and is a front burner issue for the American public, and it's about damn time.
I thought, I wonder if this is going to be well received with the public. We want to bring the whole world back to the most accurate representation of S4 as you experienced it. And it was so serious, the work we did for so long, we kind of wanted to just come up with something cool. And so I gave you a call and I said, Bob, I have an idea and I want to get your opinion on it. Would you be interested in coming out and filming with us on a dry lake bed and go back to 1988? And you said, and you would, and you finished the sentence by saying, right. I'm Bob LeZar, and now I'm going to take you back to 1988. And I thought, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, I remember the phone call. But yeah, I mean, that sounded like fun. It did. Like you said, it's a serious topic, but, it's a fun way to introduce it. I got to take you back in time here, and it was a good time.
It was such a good time. Yeah. Hey guys, Luigi here from Project Gravitur. Really excited to show you guys what is coming up with our project. First is going to be the documentary film Le�ZɅR, the original whistleblower, and following that is going to be our VR experience of S4. We've been working on this for 2 years, and we're really excited to show you how we did it and how we went about recreating the base alongside Bob LeZar. With him, we started using Unreal Engine 5 to recreate the entire S4 facility. Bob was there with us at every step, guiding us and telling us exactly how to build the facility of S4, where he was reverse engineering alien technology, the environment around that, which is the Papoose mountain range, Papoose Lake, all the way to Groom Lake, and everything that was inside the base. So the hangars, the nurse station, the briefing room, the propulsion lab, and obviously the craft, the sport model that he was privy to go in and research while he was there back in 88 and 89.
Hi, my name is Christopher Matteau, and I have the pleasure of bringing Bob's story to life using Unreal Engine 5. I would say working with Bob was a lengthy process, but in a good way. What that means is that there are so many smaller details that he would tell us about, and then we would have to go back and repeat them. We would have to go back and change little things around, and Bob would say, no, it wasn't exactly like that, or the walls were slightly greener. The hardest thing about creating the entire environment is perfecting the craft. That's because it's not something that I've ever seen before. Bob can sketch and draw and describe it all he wants, but at the end of the day, it's still alien technology. So bringing that to life was a very in-depth process with Bob. One of the most interesting aspects of this film is the steps that we took to actually putting Bob back in 1989. And what that means is we actually scanned his face, that's the first step that we did, and translated him into a metahuman. So we have now this 3D metahuman of current day Bob. Now, we also took the time to translate that and make a young, back then version of Bob LeZar to have him in our film. So when you're seeing these recreations of his story, of his life, you're going to have a fully realistic version of Bob during that time. Now, the last thing that we're going to do to really immerse the audience into our film is when Bob was here in Montreal, we filmed him on a green screen, and we can actually pull that into Unreal and have him walk around in the environment as if he was really there. And it's all live action. So you have this jump between this old 3D model of Bob, this young 3D model of Bob, and then live action Bob. And that just creates this all around really engaging experience for the audience.
Hey everyone, Luigi here from Project Gravitur. I just wanted to make this little quick video and let you know that our first product that is going to be coming out is our documentary film called S4, the Bob Le�ZɅR story. Now what's really important to know is that our documentary film does not require any special equipment. You're not going to need VR goggles or anything like that to view it. This is a standard documentary film that you can watch on your TV, your tablet, your phone, your computer. So don't worry about having to need any special equipment. So check us out on our socials, follow us on our YouTube channel for a lot of news and updates that are going to come out soon. Thanks a lot. Hey guys, we just posted our latest trailer of our documentary film S4, the Bob Le�ZɅR story. Go check it out. Hey guys, we just dropped our latest trailer on YouTube of our documentary film S4, the Bob Le�ZʅR story. Our film will launch this summer of 2025, and we know a lot of you were waiting for that date. On top of that, we just released our latest documentary film poster, which has exclusive behind-the-scenes content embedded in the poster. So make sure you get your poster and check out the trailer. Hey guys, Luigi here from Project Gravitur. I wanted to do a little video, give you guys an update of what's going on with our project and also what's happening with our documentary film, Le�ZʅR, the original whistleblower. Now, last year we announced that we were going to launch the documentary film by the end of the first quarter of 2024. And we didn't do that. We know that it's April 2024. You guys are still waiting. We get all the comments and a lot of them being super positive, and everybody really wants to know when the movie's coming out. So first thing is this: we sincerely apologize for being late. Okay, so we know we said end of the first quarter 2024. We didn't make it. That's actually on us, mainly on me. I made some big decisions at the end of 2023 simply because we had a massive breakthrough in technology. We had been getting tons of support from people all over the world on our Instagram, YouTube. We got messages from everybody on our Facebook. People are emailing us, telling us how excited they are for this project. And we love that, man. Like, we totally love the support. We appreciate it. I can't thank you enough. The entire team gets super motivated when we see that. And when we had this breakthrough at the end of 2023, it was just like this moment where we said, we can make this even better, and people want to see this thing. We saw how incredibly excited you all were to see it, that we decided to elevate the project even more. Now, this is something that I know some of you are going to say, like, come on, just get the movie out. And believe me, we also want this thing out, but the tech we got going is crazy. So we are totally elevating the project. We made the craft better, the interior of the craft better, the look of the renders are better, the entire S4 facility looks better. We got additional interviews with Bob Le�ZʅR. I literally went back to Oregon a month ago, spent a week with Bob and his wife at his house. We got some really amazing stuff. Bob got into some really cool stuff about how they were testing the reactor in the lab, stuff that's never been heard before, the material of the craft, like super great material. We are adding that into the film. It's going to elevate the project even more. So I just wanted to say, we apologize for the delay. We thank you for the support. And I want you guys to know that this is definitely coming. We don't have a date yet. We're still talking to distributors,
distributors. We're also talking to potential platforms. I can't say who. All I can tell you is we're still in negotiations, and that means we don't know how it's going to go. We don't have a lot of control on that. All we can say is that it's real, it's coming, it's better than what we initially expected it to be. We can't thank you enough for the support. We want you guys to keep following us on Instagram, YouTube, wherever you see any news from us, especially on social. We always update if we got something, and this video was specifically to let you guys know we hear you. We also want this to come out. Myself personally, I can't wait to show you guys what's coming because it's freaking amazing. Okay, so thank you. I can't say it enough. Keep following us and know that this thing is going to blow your minds. Thanks again. Take care.
Hey everyone, it's Luigi here with Project Gravitur. I wanted to make a quick video because I wanted to thank everybody and kind of give an update of everything that's happened ever since we launched the film a couple days ago. First off, I'd like to say that I am here in Bob's lab in Oregon right now. So he and I are going to be spending the next week together, kind of taking a break and going over everything that's happened in the last 4.5 years. It's been one hell of a ride. And this is a kind of a little vacation for me. And I mean, he and Joy, his wonderful wife Joy, have, I think, one of the most beautiful places in the world in the middle of the mountains of Oregon. So we're just hanging out. I'm also getting the chance to hang out in his lab again, which is wild because the stuff he does in here is truly unique. We even had a chance to put up some posters yesterday. So we put up the new film poster from S4, Bob Le�ZɅR story, and also the infamous They're Here poster that we created, which was recreated based exactly on Bob Le�ZɅR's recollection of the poster that was at S4. So we just put those up yesterday. We're having a little bit of fun with that. And I just wanted to make a quick video and let everybody know how incredibly thankful and grateful I am to all the positive comments that we've been receiving in regards to the film. It's been way beyond anything I could have expected. As you all know, this is the very first time I make a film. So I was obviously concerned that I would come across as somebody who's, here he is, you know, this guy's going to make a film and it would come out and it would suck. You know, that's normal. I still sometimes think that, but that's okay. Anyway, but it apparently doesn't suck according to what everybody's telling us, which is super reassuring, and it's great to hear. Apparently people love it. They love the visuals, which is what we invested most amount of time making over the years. My team members, I have to give them a huge shout out right now. Number one on that list is Christopher Matteau. He's my co-director. He's the VFX master of the universe. He's been by my side for the last 3.5 years, sitting in front of screens as we're creating the visuals, editing the film, getting fat, getting bald, because it's one of the most unhealthy processes in the world because you're not exercising. You're essentially sitting, looking at a computer screen between 12 to 18 hours a day. And sometimes we would sleep at the studio and basically had to keep going because we were making the renders happen out of Blender. As a lot of you know out there, all the VFX, all the visuals that you see in the film were all created by hand. Those were all made right in our studio by us, specifically by my team and myself. We've been working like crazy. There's a little bit of AI in there that was something that we used at the end to just put a bow on the film, but I would say it's 90% handmade in Blender. So I want to really give a big thank you to all of the people that helped with that. That also includes guys like Romain Dross that helped make the Honda Jet car that's in the film. That's the Honda Jet car that Bob had back in 1982. In fact, I'm just going to show it to you right here. This is the original Honda Jet car. It's a real picture. I'm in Bob's lab. That's Bob Le�ZɅR himself. And you got the fire coming out of it. You got the tank in the back, and it said "Stay clear" right on the New Mexico plate. So big thanks to him. A huge thank you to Christopher Matteau for the landscape, the craft, the assets, everything. I mean, Chris is by far the best I've ever seen. A lot of people also helped with that. Raoul Diavev, Alexei Alander. We've had Robert Dela Cruz. I mean, there's so many people that helped us make the visuals in this. A gigantic thank you to Veronica Vendittelli, who is my sister. She's been holding the fort at Motivo. She's the one who's been basically keeping the lights on and making sure that the bills get paid and that nothing messes up, and having to deal with the lawyers and the insurance. And let me tell you, that's a lot. That is insane. And then she also had to make sure that, you know, the company just kept running while we were I was completely dedicated in just producing this film. So for me, it's kind of a surreal experience because it's actually out and you guys are all watching it. And I'm like, is this really happening? Are they actually watching my film? I mean, or our film? I go, oh my God. So I've been reading a lot of the comments. I see a lot of the ratings, which are, I don't even know how to put it into words. And I look like I'm in like this good mood. I am in a great mood, but it's like a shock to me. Okay. Because I didn't know how this was going to go. And I'm really glad it's so far so good. People really seem to like it. They say that the film is laid out well and the storyline is flowing and that people are understanding a lot of the details of Bob Lαζar's story a little better because they got visuals to support it. So that's a huge, I'm extremely grateful for hearing that. A huge thanks to Vanessa Chen, Émilie Desgagnés, Luis Martinez, David Fortin, Hakim Bélanger, Chris Ramsey, Jesse Michaels. Oh my God, I'm 100% forgetting people right here. Okay, well, let's go with the crazy important ones here. A gigantic thank you to George Knapp. I am so incredibly honored to have had the opportunity to interview George for my film. He is, without a doubt, a legend. He's the OG. He is the guy who broke the story. And I really, really have a tremendous amount of respect for George. I can't say how incredibly thankful I am that Gene Huff was part of the film. Gene is an incredible person, a wonderful person. He's been incredibly supportive and informative and cooperated and helped us as much as he could. That was incredible. Huge thank you to Mario Santa Cruz. Mario, you're like a brother to me. I'm Luigi, you're Mario. So that's all I got to say. I have to say a gigantic thank you to Joy LαζarR because she's been one of the biggest supporters of all this, helping us in every possible way. And her name itself says it all, Joy, because she just basically just brought joy to everybody. So I can't thank Joy enough for everything she's done throughout the last 4.5 years. And most important, well, before we get to that, I want to thank my family, my friends, my mom, Franca, my little niece, Luna, who I love. She's actually in the film. I promised her she was going to be in the film, so she's in the film. And last but not least, a gigantic thank you to Bob LαζarR himself for giving me the opportunity to do this alongside of him and to work alongside of him to bring his story to life in a cinematic film like this. Thank you, everybody. Lots more to come. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon Prime Video. And it's also on wearenotalone.com. Take care, and we'll see each other again. Bye.
Describe the process for how your memories of what S4 looked like are translated into the virtual reality that's shown in this film.
I mean, it took 3 years working with Luigi and, multiple trips to Canada. And he's so meticulous when it comes to detail. I mean, he would come with Pantone charts. If I said, well, you know, what color is the hallway? Oh, the hallway is kind of an off-white and green, you know, painted on the bottom. Well, what shade of green? He'd come with a Pantone chart of, you know, 300 tiles of different greens, and you pick that, and, you know, okay, so that's exactly it. When he shows S4 outside on that particular day, he got the archived weather information and the cloud cover. So when there's a, you know, shot outside, and if you see any clouds or whatever, that's exactly how the clouds were in that day. So every single thing. So that took a lot of communication back and forth, certainly with the craft itself, describing that, you know, where the components go, you know, the base itself, the hallways, what each room looks like. Okay, was there a vending machine here in the cafeteria? Okay, where was it? Now, what brand was it? We're going to go through a bunch of different, I mean, every single thing. And, you know, at some point, you just start rolling your eyes going, Jesus, just put anything there. But fortunately, he didn't.